You can probably hear the rain pounding outside my window, but rain or not, I really want to make this video. Only the laziest person hasn't told the story of Superman Boy Prime. I'll admit it, I'm the laziest, but even so, today I'm going to cover him. Imagine you have a little Superman, and now add a bit of madness and garbage into his head. So now you have Superman Prime. This maniac destroyed hundreds of DC characters, smashed planets, even more than the Hulk. He crushed them like cookies in tea on a cold winter evening. His powers are very similar to those of Superman in the Silver Age, and he is considered, and I quote, the strongest Kryptonian. He flies at the speed of light, which is honestly insane. Like a Silver Age Superman, he hears everything, everywhere. He can even hear you with your headphones on, under the blanket at night, watching Lana Del Rey music videos and occasionally switching over to trans porn. Prime's healing factor is always on, constantly healing him. Every single second. Superman's heat vision is powerful enough to blow the face off one of the Supermen. From parallel dimensions. Prime is invulnerable. He easily survives flying through the sun, the explosion of the Guardian of OA, and withstands attacks from Superman and Power Girl. He learns quickly. Superman has freeze breath, which can create a hurricane and even extinguish an entire star. His strength is enough to move celestial bodies the size of planets and to take on two Supermen at once. He can move fast enough to break the time barrier. And he also has very special eyes. Prime has the power of hypnosis, as well as telescopic, microscopic, and X-ray vision so powerful that he can see through the entire universe. Even after all that, he still didn't burn out. He absorbs power from various forms of radiation, including solar and, you could say, yellow radiation. But at the same time, his powers drain quickly like a battery in an Android, and also recharge quickly like a battery in an Android. This weirdo was also seen wearing armor that collects energy from the yellow sun. This armor also has a tactical purpose. If the connection to sunlight is lost, Superboy Prime will have a reserve, worn directly on him. Let me remind you, the Time Hunter is an incarnation of Superboy Prime. But right now, we're not talking about him. Since this is Superboy from another dimension, green kryptonite doesn't affect him because in his world, kryptonite was absorbed by Rao, and the weakness never manifested. Reality alteration doesn't work on him either, at least not the kind of alteration that imps from the fifth dimension can do. Magic doesn't affect him either, as was the case during his clash with Black Adam. And now, my favorite part, weaknesses. In the Legion tribute, Superman Prime was affected by green kryptonite in the 31st century. In large quantities, of course, because the 31st century tribute is a reconstruction of the Earth Prime version, at least that's what some writers suggest. Like any Kryptonian, Superman loses his powers under a red sun, but my absolute favorite thing is his mental state. Not only is he a total psychopath, but he also has a ton of phobias. He's afraid of the dark, because he fears the darkness will drain the light from him. An irrational, let me stress irrational, fear of the Speed Force, because they left him to rot in the Speed Force for several long, agonizing years. And as it turned out in the 31st century, his achievements were recorded incorrectly and he was forgotten. Which means that's one more negative phobia to add to his collection. For some reason, the Russian-speaking community calls his opponent the Golden God, while in the comics he was called Superman Prime, and the publishers referred to him as Superman 1 million. The regular Superman, Kal-El, the first of the Kryptonians, who fell from the sky to the Kent family, in the distant future, after all his friends, relatives, and loved ones died of old age over a miserable 15,000 years, went off to wipe his nose like a little girl, only to return completely saturated with sunlight, which he had been basking in all that time. I'm not going to get into pseudo-mathematics, calculating his strength, and I won't be reading out Wikipedia articles. I'll just give you information straight from the comic, which anyone can open and check. It's called DC 1 million, so I'm just going to tell it like it is. Why such a colorful introduction, you might ask? Well, you'll see for yourself in a moment. Before he went into seclusion in the sun, Kal-El wandered around for a whopping 679 damn centuries. During all that time, he met new faces, and he gained new abilities, training them to their absolute limit. He even broke through the Wall of Souls, yes, the very one where Superman Prime was imprisoned, And as you know, that's where the answers to all questions are hidden. He studied the sources of those answers. He had all the time in the world for that. He gained unlimited abilities, as well as a potential that's simply impossible to comprehend. Upon his return, Superman made a deal with his descendants. He would grant them a portion of his abilities, as long as they faithfully served the cause of good in the name of justice. Along the way, he also inherited the abilities of his descendants, like the power to alter reality, just like the imps from the fifth dimension. Since the Superman of the 67th century married their queen, her name was GZMTPLZK. And after practicing the Kama Sutra, they had new offspring with new abilities. And only after that did Superman Prime go to the Citadel of Solitude in the Solar Core. This being cannot be destroyed, and is doomed to eternal life, because with the Source, he now knows everything and possesses all powers. From a single microsample of his DNA, he created a universe and brought his biological parents back to life, as well as Lois Lane and hundreds of planets. And this power doesn't come from the sun, but possibly from the fifth dimension, and breaking through the wall of souls. Besides that, Superman Prime is the only Green Lantern with unlimited willpower, capable of withstanding a supernova explosion and destroying the synthetic sun known as Solaris. Naturally, he is the only Green Lantern of his time. As shown in DC 1 million, Superman Prime has no weaknesses and is doomed to live forever. So, Superman will start using everything he has in his arsenal, from heat vision to freeze breath, but obviously it's useless. Then Superman will move on to the good old tried and true punch to the face. That, of course, is also useless. Superman Prime is omnipotent. First of all, he can use Superman's DNA to create a duplicate of his Krypton, and therefore kryptonite, which would work against the kid. Secondly, he can easily put Superman under a red sun, and even if we assume that the powers of both Kryptonians would decrease equally, Superman has abilities that are not typical for Superman, and he would easily defeat his opponent. My verdict: Superman 1 million wins. A golden god, if you will. Don't believe it? Then go read the comics yourself. On that positive note, I'll say goodbye. Don't forget to share the video with the naive, the doubters, and to subscribe to the channel.